There's a quiet revolution underway. Men around the world are making a decision that was once unthinkable. They're walking away from women, from relationships, from marriage itself. But why? For generations, men have been told certain paths are inevitable. Get a job, find a girl, get married, have kids. It's the well-worn path of life. Yet today, men are deviating from this route, prioritizing other aspects of their existence over finding a partner. So why are men making this choice? It's not a simplistic story of men versus women. Both genders have evolved. Men are no longer the sole breadwinners, and women are not waiting around for a prince to sweep them off their feet. Yet despite these changes, something seems to be missing. Men are increasingly feeling unfulfilled in traditional roles, questioning why they should adhere to a path laid out generations ago. Men are walking away because of the paradox of love. Historically, men were expected to embody strength, to be providers, protectors, the bedrock of the family unit. But as society evolved, the expectations didn't diminish. They expanded. Today, men are often expected to be financially successful, emotionally available, physically attentive, all while facing scrutiny for not fulfilling these duties adequately. It's like asking someone to climb a mountain and then criticizing them for forgetting to pack oxygen. Men are pushing back, wondering why they must shoulder such an overwhelming load. And this isn't just about external pressures, it's about internal feelings too. Many men genuinely desire to love, to commit, to protect a partner. But when a relationship starts resembling a list of non-negotiable demands, men begin to wonder, why am I doing this? Think of it like a bank account. Men are walking away because the balance has tipped. What was once a partnership now feels like a transaction. Men are investing time, energy, resources, yet feel they're not getting an equivalent return on their emotional investment. This isn't about assigning blame. It's about acknowledging reality. Men aren't inherently bad. They don't wake up every morning plotting domination or harboring deep-seated hatred. They're individuals with hopes, dreams, and fears. But when the world demands they check their humanity at the door, when they're expected to be supermen without any superpowers, they rebel. Take, for instance, the rise of men's rights activists. These men aren't all angry misogynists. They're regular guys who feel trapped by a system that appears stacked against them. They've read the news stories, seen the statistics, and they're afraid. Afraid of false accusations, legal battles, or being painted as villains in a story they didn't create. Then there's the gig economy. The world is changing from stable 9-to-5 jobs to freelance work. Men historically thrived in structured environments, working hard for stability and advancement. But now they're thrown into a gig economy where survival often depends on adapting quickly to new situations, learning new skills, and hustling every day. But amidst these challenges, there's a glimmer of hope. More and more men are seeking therapy, not because they hate women, but because they want to understand themselves better. They're tired of perpetuating cycles of pain and dysfunction. They want to heal, grow, and offer something different to the world. Take a moment to think about this. If your job was to fix leaky faucets, but you kept getting blamed for floods you didn't cause, you'd either get really good at fixing leaks or you'd quit. That's essentially what's happening. Men are sick of being reprimanded for problems they didn't create. They're tired of being vilified for actions taken by a few. They're fed up with being asked to single-handedly change the world while their own needs are ignored. And how can we blame them? Just think about it. Men are often portrayed as the evil patriarchy, yet they're also encouraged to pursue lucrative careers that keep them away from home. They're told to prioritize their work and climb the corporate ladder while neglecting the personal side of their lives. They're pressured to provide financially, emotionally, and physically, all without any clear instruction manual. The mental health burden for men is significant. They're less likely to seek help, yet they experience higher rates of suicide and workplace-related deaths. Men are struggling and the silence is deafening. It's easy to paint them as uncaring or unfeeling, but the truth is far more complex. Imagine spending your entire life believing a myth. You're raised thinking the world revolves around you, only to realize later that you're just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Men are going through a similar awakening. They're realizing that they alone can't fix everything, and that expecting them to do so is not only unfair, it's detrimental to everyone involved. Psychologist Jonathan Cheek talks about reactance, a concept that explains why people resist attempts to control their behavior. Imagine someone telling you what to wear, what to eat, and whom to spend time with. You'd probably feel outraged against those restrictions. That's exactly what women are doing to men. When men face excessive pressure to comply, to be constantly monitored and corrected, they react. They resent the feeling of being micromanaged. They push back against the perceived power struggles. They walk away from relationships that feel more like battles than partnerships. Think about your own relationships. When have you felt most connected, most fulfilled? Chances are it wasn't when you felt judged or controlled, but when you experienced genuine companionship, mutual respect, and shared growth, and not being told what to do or how to act or think constantly. Let's delve into the heart of the matter. Men are walking away because they're tired of the emotional labor. Traditionally, women were expected to manage the emotional landscape of relationships. Men were often encouraged to be the strong, silent type to handle problems directly. But societal shifts have blurred these lines. Today, men are not only expected to manage their own emotions, but often find themselves in situations where they're expected to be the primary caregivers, the emotional anchors for their partners. But here's the crux of the issue. Men are not equipped to handle this role effectively. It's not that they lack empathy or care, it's that they express it differently. A man might take on extra shifts at work, trying to outrun his emotions. Last thing a man wants to do is come home to a wife that jumps all over him because the chores are not done, because she can't handle being a mom, wife, and climbing up some corporate ladder at the same time. The good old days are over. Imagine living with someone who speaks a language you don't understand. Misunderstandings are bound to happen. The same is true for men and women. They're wired differently. They communicate differently. They express their love in different ways. And when women expect men to navigate their emotional terrain without a roadmap, men falter. They feel like they're treading on eggshells, terrified of saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing. Take, for example, the gender pay gap. On the surface, it seems straightforward. Women earn less than men for the same work. But dig deeper, and you'll find a complex web of factors at play. Yes, outright discrimination exists, but so does a difference in how men and women value financial success. A man might prioritize climbing the corporate ladder, aiming to become the CEO, while a woman might prefer a more balanced approach, prioritizing family or personal fulfillment alongside her career. And that's okay. People have different priorities, but when those priorities don't align, conflicts arise. Imagine two people in a relationship. One wants to travel the world, the other wants to settle down. One dreams of big city lights, the other yearns for a quiet suburb. Their different desires aren't a reflection of their love, but a reminder that compatibility isn't always a given. Yet somehow, when it comes to gender, we expect complete compatibility without addressing these fundamental differences. Women are subliminally asking men to abandon their instincts to compete, to excel, to lead, and they are asking them to do more chores around the house, like cooking and cleaning. Take, for instance, the male desire for competition. It's deeply ingrained in many men. Some love playing sports, others love business. But when this instinct is pitted against societal expectations, men often lose. They're told to tone it down, to not be so aggressive, to embrace cooperation and accept a participation trophy instead. Here's the irony. Men aren't naturally aggressive. They're passionate. They care. But when passion is labeled as aggression, men learn to suppress their natural instincts. This isn't healthy for anyone. It's like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Men are walking away because they're tired of being talked at, not talked to. They're tired of being told what to do, what to say, and what to feel. They're tired of being painted with a broad brush, of being categorized and labeled as dumb Neanderthal morons. Take, for instance, the conversation around consent. It's crucial, it's necessary, and it's often misunderstood. Consent isn't just about sex. It's about respecting boundaries in every aspect of our interactions. But when this conversation becomes a battleground, when it's used to shame, to humiliate, or to punish men, its effectiveness diminishes. Men are tired of being made the villains in a story they didn't create. They're tired of being blamed for the complexities of human interaction, for the nuances of consent, for the vagaries of attraction. They're tired of being told they're predators, rapists, or abusers simply because they've dared to engage. So they're walking away, not because they hate women, but because they hate being misunderstood. They hate the complexities, and they hate the lack of communication. The truth is, men are walking away because they're tired of the emotional imbalance. They're yearning for a partnership, not a transaction. They're looking for equality, not domination. They're searching for respect, not compliance. It's easy to point fingers, to lay the blame at either men's or women's feet. But the real culprit is a system that encourages them to walk away. A system that fails to acknowledge their struggle, their confusion, their pain. So what's the solution? Simple. Start a conversation. Women need to talk to men without being dramatic, irrational, and constantly neurotic. Listen to their stories and understand their struggles. Recognize their pain. And in that recognition, you'll find the key to bringing them back. Not back to a broken system, but back to each other. Back to a place where love is celebrated, respected, and cherished.